All right, everybody, welcome into the Pillow Talk edition of Pugs and Company for this Tuesday night, the fourth day of the new year. Welcome in. Hey, we haven't done a Pillow Talk in quite a while. We haven't. I had my kid. He was here, so I don't really like to do the night show when he's here. I can handle the daytime show because he can go. We can go in the other house and he can play in video games, do whatever. I can do that. But this show is typically reserved for our time, so I apologize. We haven't. Also, James is like barely committed to this endeavor at this point. He's barely committed. Sunglasses. He's out jet setting. You never know what continent he's going to be on, socializing with the hoogie boogies of whatever. By the way, I just made that word up. Hoogie boogies. That's not bad. Hey, speaking of, look at this. The guy who's barely committed. He's here. Look. James Parker.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've heard the barely committed line, so I'm just glad it's in a work setting this time.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
Why am I hearing feedback?
Oh, you need me to...
Yeah. Is that on your end? Please.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Hey, we hadn't done this in a while. Give me a break.
No, we haven't. No, you're fine. You get all the breaks in the world.
You see this new background? You see that?
Hey, wow, that's right. Now, explain to people, you are in a completely new place. You've moved. It is no longer James Parker live from New Orleans. It is now James Parker in Tyler, Texas.
Technically Flint.
Flint.
Yes, Flint, Texas, not Flint, Michigan. No.
I was going to say, how is the Tyler version of Flint or how is the Texas version of Flint compared to Michigan's offering?
We do not have any Fortune 500 companies with a headquarters here.
Does Flint? GM. Yeah, I guess that's the point of the whole movie. Yeah. See, being from the Midwest and having spent many summers in the Michigan area, I think of Flint as other things than just from Roger and me. I think of Flint as
90% of what I know about Flint is from Roger and me. No, Flint, it's one of these places like where I went to high school. It was weird because we had our own school district, but we didn't have our own post office. But we did have a volunteer fire department, but we didn't have a police department. We didn't have a mayor. But here in Flint, we do have a post office, but we don't have our own school district. Oh. And we don't have our own police department, but we do have I think we have our own fire department. I'm not sure yet.
It's a volunteer fire department. Which means that when a fire breaks out, everyone that shows up is drunk because they've been just hanging out in the tavern waiting for something.
Well, the volunteer fireman is legendary out here.
Oh, tell me. Give me. Really?
Well, it's because you just don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's a guy in like an El Camino with like one of the Starsky and Hutch lights that they used to put on the car.
And a step ladder in the back.
And these guys are so dedicated to the cause, and they get zero pay, and it is kind of dangerous, and they get hurt all the time. It's like a white trash heroic sort of endeavor.
I've always had questions regarding the volunteer fireman thing.
Rightfully so. We all do.
How is it that regular fire departments, these guys are paid? Notice I didn't say well paid because I think the firemen really, they're the ones, they're the guys that were like cops. How would you like to be at a job where people are, but come on, you're a suburban cop. You've never pulled your gun. You're fine. I get it. It could potentially be dangerous and we are very appreciative of you, but stop it. Stop over. But a fireman, every time you call a fireman, something could explode. Somebody could get back. Fire is different than just a dirt bag who's loitering. You know what I mean? So I've always been interested in the I was shocked. I only just learned, like as an adult, it was 15, 20 years ago, but as an adult is when I learned that volunteer firemen were legitimately volunteers. I thought there had to have been something. Like I figured,
like they have a day job. They're just doing this for minimum wage on the weekends or something. Or
$100 a fire. I don't know, something like
a stipend, that. Like a per fire.
Yeah, like why not? Do they get their mileage? At least, do they get anything? No, these are just dedicated and heroic members of the community who, although, can I tell you something that's interesting?
Yes.
about firemen versus cops? Do you know that it's difficult for a lot of people to become a cop? Because at least I don't know if it's the case here in Texas, but I know that where I'm from, all of the suburban police departments and the Chicago police departments, they have psychological tests that you have to pass. And the joke in Chicago is if you can't, all the firemen are dudes who failed the police psychological test. It's all like
Oh, that's cold.
well, but it's also kind of true because crazy is not something you necessarily want with a cop, but crazy is kind of something that you want with a fireman. You want somebody who's going to see that burning building and that kid on the second floor and go, screw it, and just run in there and do it.
I'll get him.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But with
Yeah.
a cop, you don't want that. So, I'm wondering, do they even have psychological tests for volunteer firemen, or is it just like
Well, it turns out you hear the stories, and the stereotype is true that for a lot of volunteer firemen, they're just this shade on this side of the boundary of pyromaniac.
oh, really? They're just
Yeah.
they're fire enthusiasts who get themselves a front
Yeah,
row
and
seat?
but to their credit, they're using their enthusiasm for fire, that this new power that they've discovered, for good instead of evil.
Steve is here. I was worried about this. We've got a very small chat room today. The number is very low. Haven't done the show now for almost 2 weeks. And I was afraid of, the what would we call it? The atrophy of the listener, just not getting in the habit. The midday show, that the afternoon show is booming. We've set bigger numbers. I don't mention the numbers, but
Like 6 or 7 people this time.
but it's not great right now. Oh, you're talking about during the day? No,
Yeah.
the day has been good. The day is starting to pick up. It is growing pretty well. There's Byron. But yeah, this number is low. But I'm not going to let it distract me because we've got plenty of time.
We're just getting started.
yeah.
Started.
And as I understand, most people like to listen to this not live. They check it out later, which I suppose is the point.
Well, they're going through Cobra Kai season 4 right now, and they'll get to us when they get to us.
Busy. So what's new with you besides where you're living? Are you going to decorate that back wall, or are you going with more of a minimalist kind of thing?
I am not doing the minimalist thing. There will be all kinds of crap littering the wall. Well, it's not going to be necessary for a pretty French word to describe it. It's just going to be memorabilia barfed on the wall behind me, and people are just going to try and guess what the heck is that from. It's kind of the game.
I'm debating what I should do with my background. I love the pictures; those are beautiful pictures. Obviously, I'm not trying that hard, right? I mean, it's like I'm not sure that this show is necessarily ready for prime time yet.
I think for your situation, a tapestry is in order, and by tapestry I mean you can take like a high resolution picture and you can send it off to Zazzle or some other service that will make a gigantic 8x12 tapestry out of it. So you can make whatever background you want. You could have the skyline of Chicago, and you're in the corner, so you could curve it around the corner with you. It would give a little perspective. They wouldn't even see the crease. It would be amazing. I did that with one of my walls. There was just a big, dumb steampunk theme image with like some clocks and gears and chains and, all kinds of industrial looking background. It looked amazing. And I used to use that. And it was only like $30 for an amazing tapestry.
Here are the directions that I'm leaning in right now. The giant single picture behind me is definitely one of the directions I'm going in. But here's what I want. I want a giant single picture of me. Like me now. So it's just like me here, but then behind me is just like a giant picture of me. So I don't know, I just thought that'd be funny. The other one was I want to go to like a Spencer's, and I want to get some like really bad posters. And we can change those out because those posters aren't that expensive. So like every couple of weeks, I'll just change it out with more really bad posters. What I'd love to be able to get my hands on are some classic posters. Like behind me, I'd like to have the 1979 Farrah Fawcett poster,
in the red bikini.
Yeah.
Well, I mean the red one piece. Look, here's the deal.
On the Change Lounge.
Bro, just go get the JPEG and print it out. Have it printed. Make your own posters. You don't have to go find the poster itself if you want it. Just make it happen. You're not going to turn around and sell it, so there's not a copyright issue.
I would do the Farrah Fawcett, and then I would do from the 80s. There was a Heather Thomas one where she was
from T.J. Hooker, right?
Oh, no. Yeah.
But no. Fall Guy.
Fall Guy. Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. Heather Locklear.
Locklear
was. Oh, we were.
Oh, man. I'm embarrassed I made that mistake, actually.
We were lousy with Heathers in the mid 80s. We really were. It was just a Heather Palooza. They were everywhere. And
my sister's a Heather, and she looks okay.
Were you either, you're too young, so I won't ask you, but you were either Team Locklear or Team Thomas. And I was decidedly Team Locklear. I think that pound for pound, when you look at the two of them, here's where it breaks down. Heather Locklear is prettier than Heather Thomas, which is a ridiculous thing to say because Heather Thomas is a 10. But for some reason, Heather Locklear is a 10.5 to me. She's just a little bit prettier.
Well, here's what I do know is Heather Locklear aged extremely well. I haven't seen Heather Thomas since 1988.
Let's do it.
Let's make magic happen.
Let's do it.
This is important. Yeah. Some people are talking about the news or balancing the budget or other lame stuff like coronavirus.
I hope we're not going to find out she's dead of something.
No way. We would know.
Would we?
Weren't you? Wait, you were on Team Locklear though, huh?
I was on Team Locklear. Oh, my.
I think I was on Team Heather Thomas until Melrose Place.
Oh, my.
Is this her now, or is she dead? She's not dead, is she? Don't do this to me. Oh, my. Oh, is this now? Shut up. That's not her now.
That is her now. She is. How old? She does not look terrible. I mean, she's an
Can you
older
full screen
woman.
that? Can you full screen that?
Is it not full screen? Yeah. Is that better?
No, it's the same.
Oh, it's the same? Because on mine, it got full screen.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, I see what the problem is. Okay, yeah. So let me stop sharing that. And then let's go to this one. Yeah. All right. Let's get rid of that.
Isn't Restream Studio amazing?
Yeah. Yeah. Be even more amazing if I didn't have to do it. Here we go. Mm-hmm. That's it. All right. There you go. Is that better? Yeah.
Wow.
A little better.
Wow.
Not too shabby. How old is Heather Thomas? All right. Let's ask Bing. I've been having trouble with my voice activated.
64 is my guess.
64? Oh,
that's my guess.
Okay, so I was probably 13. She was probably okay. So I'm going to say 59. You say 64.
Yes.
I say 59. Oh, but wait a second. What year are we? Yeah, Heather Thomas, 59. Jeff Glenn says she's every bit of 70. No, I don't think so. All right, let's try this. How old is the actress Heather Thomas? How old did you say?
I said 64.
She is 64 years old. What the hell? Are you a secret Heather Thomas fan?
No, I just remember being about 8 or so, and she was 20 years older than me. I'm 44 now. I just added 20. There was no insight to that. That was a guess. It's a lucky guess.
All right, here's another one. Here's another good one. This is good. She looks amazing. This one, oh God. Okay, so here we go. Let's do another one, shall we? Why not?
There's an H on that, Kenny. Ola, Hola. The H is silent, just like Hugo Chavez.
Yeah. Look at her.
What year is that? That is not a 64-year-old anything.
Hold on, let's see it. Yeah, it could be. It could be a 64-year-old Heather Thomas. How about this one? Look at her. Look at her.
You still on Team Locklear, or
I am. Let's check out Heather Locklear. Let's see what she's got going on.
And thanks for fixing that, Kenny. All the Hispanics of the world, thank you.
All right, hold on. Let's try Heather Locklear now. Well, that was easy. She must be still sort of relevant because all you got to do is put Heather L and she comes up. Heather Thomas.
She is. She was in something I saw like last year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see. Let me see if I can find a modern, a close today. Heather Locklear today. Scanning, scanning, scanning. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm still. I mean, I'm just what I'm seeing here is. Yeah, I think I'm still on Team Heather Locklear. I do. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's take a look at her.
Okay.
The Battle of the Heathers. It's the kind of stuff we do here. Okay. Boom. There she is.
Yeah, that's still pretty amazing. And that's not that different than what she looked like in 1990.
No.
These people are
There she
amazing.
is. There she is in 1980 something, and there she is today.
Oh my God.
Beauty. There she is relatively recently. I don't know. Okay, the wind is blowing, but still. Oh my God.
Not ugly, huh?
That is not okay. Well, you know what? Genetics. This one's for you. Because I'm telling you, that is crazy. Oh, but now you know what I want to see now? All right, so now I want
Bro, I tell you what you want to see is Heather Locklear's filmography, her whole list.
has she done anything? I mean, she's
Well,
done a lot. She's done a lot of TV work and
she's
stuff
done
like that.
she's done a lot of TV work, and a lot of these she wasn't like a character in the series, but she had like a character that was on for a few episodes, or maybe she was just on for one episode. But this goes through a list of the most amazing shows of your life. Like she played a teenager on one episode of Chips.
Oh yeah.
So so she was also on an episode of 8 is Enough. She did 8 years on Dynasty. She was on The Fall Guy. She was on an episode of Fantasy Island. She was on, am I on the right one? Yeah, this is right. She was also on TJ Hooker for those years, and just start going through it.
Yeah, you know what? It was Heather Locklear was on Dynasty, and Heather Locklear was on TJ Hooker. Heather Thomas was on The Fall Guy. Heather Thomas was a regular on The Fall Guy.
You say that, but Heather Locklear was on an episode of The Fall Guy in 1983.
That works. All right, so here, this is well, actually, no, I won't share this one yet. Hold on.
She was on Going Places. Oh man, you remember that series that just lasted 2 seasons?
What was Going Places? About what was was that like the waitresses?
No. I think that was the guy from Cameron from Ferris Bueller, and Heather Locklear just had like a kid dumped in their lap, and it was these 3 friends, like some other guy, and they were raising a kid, like one of.
I remember that. Spin City. Heather Locklear was also on Spin City.
Yeah. 7 years on Melrose Place. Other things.
Melrose Place.
Well, she was also in an episode of King of the Hill. She was in an episode of Ally McBeal. She was in 2 episodes of Scrubs. She was in an episode of 2.5 Men. She was in an episode of Boston Legal.
I mean, Heather Locklear is far more successful than Heather Thomas, right? I mean,
incredibly more successful. Yeah.
But they're scratch golfers, both of them. I mean,
Right.
I mean, as far as hot chicks go, I mean, you can't really. This poster right here that you're looking at, this adorned my bedroom wall for a good 10 years of my youth. I got a lot of use out of that poster.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. That's her.
Yeah, mama let you have that?
Oh, mom was cool. Mom wanted to give me every opportunity to be a normal boy. She wasn't like weird like that. She was there she goes, Heather Thomas. But I was definitely Team Locklear. Okay, so did you want to do a monologue? Do you have a monologue or anything like that?
Look in your email, I do.
Oh, you do? Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. So because I want to circle back to what you just said about all of the people that were, all the shows that she was on, and you said back in the 80s they used to do these guest. We'll circle back to that conversation because it fits something that I have locked and loaded for today's show.
You like to circle back?
Yeah. Hold on a second here. I haven't done this in a long time, so
you got to go find the sound clips.
Yeah, I do.
I'll make you a sound wall.
This is why I need a producer. This is why I need help. And you know what? Oh crap! I forgot. I got to open up 2 of these now. I got to open up 2 window. You know what? Let's just wing it. All right. I'm going to give you, instead of taking your cues on what sound effect I should hit, I'm just going to do my own sound effects. I'm going to give you an honest to God reaction. Okay. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. Why not? It's time. Oh, hold on. Why is that weird? Hold on, James.
Sounds great so far. Good to be back, Byron. Thank you for the positive thoughts there.
I don't know why my dials are all jacked up. I'm not loving the levels. Oops, is this up? No, this is too hot. Wind up. Wind up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage here in the One Percenter Guest House Lounge, James Parker. Here he is with the monologue.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Hey, according to Star Magazine, Vice President Harris's marriage is on the rocks. Gallup poll shows her approval rating has fallen to 50% in her own home.
No.
Gallup surveyed one dude. According to Radar Online, Bravo host Andy Cohen will not be invited back to CNN's New Year's Eve show after his nice little rant a couple days ago. Of course, this is assuming CNN's still on next year.
Okay. You're getting booze on that because, as I covered during the noon show, that is not a true story. CNN put out a press release this afternoon saying, no, he's back. We love him. He's welcome here anytime on New Year's.
It's a monologue.
I'm just telling you.
Well, good for him. I like Andy Cohen, believe it or not. You might want to get the Cena sounder for this one. What?
Do you really like Andy Cohen? Are you serious, or are you just? I mean, you're married, so you've probably been forced to sit and watch some of those brutal housewives.
No. My wife doesn't watch that. No, I've caught most of what I've seen of Andy Cohen is highlight clips of him on YouTube, which isn't really a fair showing of him because it's all the best stuff. But
so irritating.
Really? Do you think he's irritating?
I think that sort of dude, he's got a vibe that just makes me want to punch him. I just don't. I talked about this at noon today. I respect the hell out of him. Do you know that he's a TV executive? He's a TV executive. He is a guy who is in an office, who runs a network, who is a programming guy, and he came up with this whole. He pitched himself on the Real Housewives thing. It became a massive hit. He started to accelerate within Bravo all the way up to the very top, and then he just decided that he'd put himself on TV. And now he's on TV. He's like the program director who gives himself mornings.
Good for him. I think he's okay for what he is, and for a project that nothing he's ever done has been aimed at my target demographic. Yeah. I find him more enjoyable than most other attempts in that genre.
He likes himself too much. He's too charmed by his own wit and his own.
Yeah, and in some ways, isn't that kind of necessary for the navel gazing job that he has?
I don't know. Just irritates me.
All right, next up, Whoopi Goldberg has tested positive for COVID-19, and whoever replaces her on The View is going to have a really big seat to fill.
Oh, look at that. Fat jokes.
Yeah, fat jokes are supposed to be the Cena sounder. I don't know if you've caught on to that pattern. Yeah,
no,
fat jokes and your mom jokes.
Oh, that's right. I was not thinking. And you even led me into it by saying you might want to get the Cena sounder.
Yeah. Well, you might want to get the CSI sounder because this one sucks. Okay. In Washington, Missouri, a 27-year-old man was arrested for indecent exposure. His defense is lame, though. He says, Missouri is the show-me state, her. Yeah. Dad puns, and dad jokes and puns. That's the CSI. According to the National Enquirer, Adele will earn $1 million per show in her new Las Vegas residency, and that's twice as much as Britney Spears made for her residency. But to be fair, in Adele's contract, she actually has to sing.
Oh, I get it. Because Adele's got the voice of an angel, and Britney
lip syncs everything. According to a new report, the world population is now 7.8 billion. Well, 7.8 billion in one if you include me. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, they had to think about that. They were waiting for something funny.
They had to think about how bad it was.
Where's the funny?
It wasn't there. In Florida, a 27-year-old female teacher was arrested for texting pornographic selfies to an underage male student. And I remember when teachers actually had sex with students, now they just phone it in.
Oh boy, the crowd loves teacher sex jokes.
Beautiful teacher sex, yes. In Pennsylvania, animal rescuers are still asking for help trying to find an escaped emu. They say the bird may have disguised itself as an ostrich.
I get it, because they're very similar. Get it.
Yeah. Animal rescuers looking for the escaped emu. They also warned he might be able to save you a lot of money on your insurance.
Oh, you're working a number. That's a chain joke. I like it.
All right. In Sanford, Florida, a doorbell camera caught a mother bear and her cub trying to open the front door of a house. And fortunately for the homeowners, the animals didn't find the key under the mat.
They don't know because they're animals. They don't know.
I thought they were going to boo that. I thought they would boo that. All right. And finally, have you seen the commercials for Prevagen? This is a supplement that's supposed to improve your memory. I've been wanting to try it, but I keep forgetting. So I just. Hey-oh. Watch me work the rust off. All right, what was I supposed to remind you about? Something important?
No, we were going to circle. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, this is okay. So we'll do this. Oh, but first of all, we were talking about Heather Thomas and Heather Locklear. Okay, now we're starting to get the people in here. I appreciate it.
Circle back.
Be on time next time, people. Be on time.
What do you have, lives to lead?
Nope. I don't know where Sunglasses is.
Well, he has a life to lead, but that's different. The rest of us, we're the losers.
Over there. So I sent him a thing. I don't know what's going on. He doesn't want to be here. That's fine. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So how old do you think Heather Locklear is? If Heather Thomas is 64.
Oh, 60. I already looked it up.
Oh, you dick.
I'm sorry. I could have cheated and act like I knew, like some kind of genius.
You could have, and I would have been so impressed because you
like, damn, you're the babe whisperer. Yeah.
How old is Bo Derek?
100. Oh, no. We looked this up when we were talking about how you think Tommy Boy's overrated and doesn't stand the test of time.
Yeah. No, but Bo Derek.
But Bo Derek's only, I think it was 55 or 54. No, she was younger than we both thought. I thought she'd be pushing 70 right now because remember, she was only like 36 when Tommy Boy was made. And
okay.
So
No. She was 42. I remember that because that's what I brought up. I brought up how old she was in Tommy.
Oh, okay. Well, then that would put her more at like almost 70 now, right?
She is 65 years old. 65 years old for Bo Derek. That's not a bad choice. Bo Derek, Heather Locklear, or Heather Thomas. How do you rank them? How do you rank Heather, and Bo?
I can't even decide between the Heathers, and they're both better than Bo.
Gluttons. Like any of these women, and even if they were just working at the local Gap, like any of these women would have anything to do with us. I mean, these are rock star level women. These are.
Mm-hmm. Like if I opened the door for her at a restaurant, she wouldn't even say thank you.
No, she'd know your game. Here's how I would rate them. I would personal preference. And by the way, again, there are no losers. You hear this a lot in life. There are no losers here. But
not in this game, just us.
Bronze medal goes to Heather Thomas. Silver medal, Heather Locklear. Gold medal, Bo Derek. Gold medal, prime 1983, Bo Derek. Get out of town.
Oh, you mean 1983? I thought you meant we're talking 2022. In their prime. I need JPEG confirmation of this.
Of what? Bo Derek from the 80s? Are you in for
I just need it side by side with the Heathers.
Okay. Well, let's see Bo Derek now at 64 or 65. She's 1 year older than Heather Thomas, right? So let's see what Bo Derek looks like now. Did we do this already, like a couple weeks ago? Because I don't remember.
No, we didn't do this.
Okay, 2020. Bo Derek 2020. Oh, you're kidding me. You're out of your mind. What is with these people's genetics? This is madness. This is extra close. This is extra close up. It's a little bit closer up than Heather Thomas. So we're going to see a few. But 65-year-old Bo Derek? Are you kidding me?
Well, look, they've all had some surgical help. This isn't just great genetics.
I don't think Bo Derek has had surgical help.
She's definitely had surgical. Look, there's no way you're 65 and you don't have one line on your face, okay? You don't have the baggies under your eyes. You don't have the crow's feet. I mean, she should be halfway to Willie Nelson by now.
Yeah, I suppose maybe she should. What is the date on it? 2000. This is 63-year-old Bo Derek. 2000. Oh my God. Look at this. Here she
Okay.
is. This is her 2 years ago. This is 63-year-old Bo Derek. Come on, man.
Man, that's gorgeous, right?
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
How do these
Come
women do
on,
it?
man.
All right, hold on. Let me how about we do Bo Derek Prime? Let's do Bo Derek 80s. That's it. Yeah, Bo Derek 80s. And I'm not gonna give you 10. I'm gonna give you just some regular. See, the thing about Bo Derek was her appeal was that she wore no makeup. She did nothing with her hair. She was just coming out of the ocean. She was just, oh man. I'm trying to choose a good one. Bo Derek and the this is like Bo Derek Tommy Boy era. And yeah, she is 40 something MILF.
Not ugly.
Oh my goodness. This is all right. We'll give you this one. Nah, you know what? I won't give you that one because we want body, right? I mean, we're pigs. We want body. We don't want.
Yeah, pig all the way.
Is that Bo Derek? Oh, there are no body.
All right.
Although wait, I stumbled on this one. This one just will be a little distracted. Forget it. I'm not going to mess with
All
Bo
right.
Derek.
Now you listen to me. You listen to me. Bo Derek was born in 1956.
Yep.
Tommy Boy came out in 1995. That means she was 38 when it was filmed.
Oh, 38, not 42?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. For some reason, I thought she was in her 40s. Look at Heather Locklear here. Look at this little cutie. See, this is the difference between Heather Locklear and Heather Thomas, though. Heather Thomas had like a stripper body. She had a stripper body, whereas Heather Locklear was just prettier, I think. That's how I break it down.
That counts. I'm not saying that's all a woman's worth, but it counts for a lot in contests such as these.
It does. Whatever. I still think that I like a pretty face. I like. She's got a very pretty face.
How noble of you! How do you like a pretty face? Huh? What a great guy you are.
I know.
Very generous of you.
How about it? Okay, so let's do a moment of joy here. We'll do this really quick. We'll get this out of the way because whatever. We just do. Where is it?
The Heathers and Bo Derek weren't our moment of joy.
You know what? They were. So let's forget about that. This moment of joy today wasn't so great. You're right. Our moment of joy, beautiful women from the 80s who I lusted after as a child. Let's see here. So I want to show you this. I played this during the daytime show. We were talking about, just you and I a few moments ago, we're talking about 80s TV shows and how, well, first of all, they were crazy. TV shows in the 1980s. If James, you probably, how old were you? When were you born? What year?
77.
Oh, 77. Okay. So you have some remember. Absolutely. If I can remember happy days and good times and All in the Family, then you can probably remember what 80s TV was like. So 80s TV was really terrible. I mean, we didn't know any difference because we had never seen good TV. Peak TV has been happening now since, I put the start of peak TV when HBO.
The Sopranos, yeah.
No, I don't. I'm a TV historian. What do you think I am? Some run-of-the-mill pedestrian TV historian? Sopranos, that's the easy one. Peak TV started before Sopranos. Peak TV started with HBO, though, but it was Larry Sanders. It was when Larry Sanders aired on HBO in the mid-1990s that TV really started to do something different. That's where I say peak TV began. But, in the 80s, there were only 3 channels. So what were we going to do? They didn't have to try that hard, right? I mean, they were like, the shows were all demographically different. If you were a guy, here's the show with guns and detectives for guys, and we got jiggly girls in it too. And then there was a show for women. Here's the soap opera. It's basically a daytime soap opera, but it's on film, so it looks different. And, so your Dallases, your Falcon Crests. And then there
Dynasty.
Dynasty. And then, there were none for the gays. There were none for the gays back then. There was another show, so guys, girls, and that's it. Nothing for the kids in prime time. So they didn't really have to try. So they could just do like really stupid shit and throw it on TV. And if people watched it, Great. If they didn't, all right, let's get another one. And then they'd crank out some other piece of shit and they'd throw that. It's how we get stuff like Elf, you know, although I joke about Elf because the premise of Elf is absolutely ridiculous, but there was some brilliant writing in Elf. There was some really good high level people in that writing room, and I can't think of any of their names now. But if you go back and look
at one time, you knew their names. You knew the writing room of Alf.
Yeah, because I had been involved in this conversation once before, and we were looking it up. We were like, somebody, I don't remember what it was.
What's with the Russians over there? What in the comments? What are y'all doing, Russians?
Yeah, I know that's a new thing that's been popping up. Hey, I don't care. I welcome them. Nastravia.
Yeah. Louis brought. Hey, tell Putin I said hi.
All right. So in the 80s, TV was really bad. And I stumbled across this, and I think it's the greatest thing ever. And it comes, well, we'll get rid of this. I'm sorry. I'm doing a bunch of things at once, and anyone who knows me knows that I am not great at that. Where is it? Okay. So this is a show that I played this afternoon for, this was this morning's moment of joy, because it's just, it's just great. So here's what I want you to do. Here is your assignment for this, okay? This is the opening sequence of a show from the 1980s that didn't make it. It didn't make it. It was canceled after 6 episodes.
Okay.
But this is the style of shit they were throwing up on TV back in the 1980s. Watch the opening sequence. First of all, it's like 90 seconds. It's like the worst song ever. But then
incredibly long.
Just when you think it can't get any more mind-blowing,
okay.
Just stay with it. Wait till the end. This is what 80s TV was like. Okay, so here you go. This is a show called Half Nelson. It only lasted for 6 episodes, I think, in 1985, between March and April of 85. So here we go, James. This is for you. Fred the Hammer Williamson. What, they got NFL players in this show? Living high on Rodeo Drive makes you glad to be alive. Here I am. I don't know. Falling in love with the city. Yes, I am. Finding myself in the What's the Mackenzie knockoff? Couldn't get the real one.
Oh, I thought that was tough.
So here's Cody. You belong to me. You got Fred the Hammer Williamson and Dick Bucket. 2 Hall of Fame defensive monsters. Bubba Smith. What are we doing here? Is this an NFL? You belong to me. Look so good. From the valley to Hollywood. You belong to me. Beverly Hills, LA. You belong to me. How great is that?
That was one huge expensive failure, wasn't it?
Massive. Well, Pesci cost him nothing because Pesci
was nobody. Yeah.
Victoria Jackson, she came from Saturday Night Live, and remember we talked about what people on Saturday Night Live made. She made like $300 a week at Saturday Night Live, so she wasn't that expensive. Then you got 3 super high Q rating, super high recognizable, well-known football stars in Hall of Famers in Fred the Hammer Williamson, Bubba Smith, and Dick Butkus. That would be like if a show just popped up today and it co-starred Aaron Donald, J.J. Watt, and Khalil Mack. You know?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I'd have to watch that.
Ridiculous that show would be. And then out of nowhere, and you have to read this in 1985, Dean Martin was one of the biggest stars on the planet, one of the most influential and powerful dudes in Hollywood. and he's playing himself. He plays himself. And that's why I kind of understand why they had to go with a knockoff Spuds McKenzie. Because, you're laying out for Dino. You can't really You're trying to connect with the Spuds crowd. You get a dog that looks like Spuds. What the hell? Nobody know the difference.
Yeah, close enough. You just need to ride that wave. Okay, so look, that was one style, and it seemed like since there was 3 networks, if someone came up with a formula that worked, the other 2 would try and mimic the show, and it would just be a
Absolutely.
little bit different. And
Mhm.
so I really liked that. I really liked there was the one like formula that had the fish out of water kind of formula, whether it was different strokes or Mr. Belvedere.
Can I give you a good example? Because you just
The
let me give you 2 good examples of
Sure,
that.
fish out of water.
Not fish out of water, but the way they would mimic each other.
Okay.
NBC had great success with different strokes, so ABC suddenly launched Webster.
Yes.
And that is
Yes.
that is the most blatant. Like we need a cute little black kid. That was it. That was the whole thought process.
Yeah, can he be like 30 though, and we'll just make him play a cute little black kid?
We need somebody get me a black kid with a kidney ailment. I need somebody with some growth dysmorphia, some sort of issue. That's what it was.
Could be a thyroid condition. I'm not real
Whatever.
particular. Yeah.
Bring them in, baby. Come on, kid, dance, do your thing. By the way, what's wrong with you? What is that?
That was one brutal ripoff. One of the most brutal ripoffs of all time. Okay,
well, one more good one is
okay.
Family Ties was a success for NBC, so immediately ABC launched Growing Pains.
Okay. Another formula I really liked was there was a series, and I think some of the networks were copying themselves, where the star of the show was kind of these 2 guys, but it was really the car. So like Starsky and Hutch was all about the car, and Dukes of Hazzard was all about the car. The Fall Guy was all about that big stupid truck. Hardcastle and McCormick was about the car. And so there's about
Rider. Don't forget Knight Rider. Don't forget Kit.
Well, of course, dude. There's like 10 of those though. If you go along the vehicle is the star formula, yeah. So that was another popular formula that used to crack me up because even as like an 8-year-old, I kind of know what's going on. It's like, oh, I see what you're doing here.
Well, that's why we had nothing but detective shows, hospital shows, and what would the other
Cop
one
show?
be?
Oh, you already said
Detective shows. Well, cop shows weren't really detective shows were the thing. But then the cop shows started popping up. Like Starsky and Hutch were cops. I think Baretta was a cop. Hill Street Blues, they were cops. Yeah. And they also do it. They put a little distance between them and then just reinvent the same format. Like for instance, NBC did it to themselves. NBC had St. Elsewhere in the 1980s, which was a show that was a companion. It wasn't tied into, it wasn't a spinoff, but it was supposed to be a companion show to Hill Street Blues, which was this gritty, really quality, actually a quality show for the era of which it aired, a well-written, well-done show. And then NBC, after St. Elsewhere, like 10 years later, they went, man, we need something that wins Emmys. We need something that we can, so they just repackaged St. Elsewhere and called it ER. It was the exact same show, essentially.
Yeah, I kind of got that feeling where Welcome Back, Kotter and Head of the Class was
100%. Yes.
That's the same formula. Isn't that the same thing, just 8 years apart or so? Yeah.
Very good. All right. What was the other one? There was something else that was weird too. Like, the other one that is great. This is actually a good TV story. So Married with Children comes out, and they have a lot of success with Married with Children. Hold on, I don't remember what this is called. So they have all kinds of success with Married with Children. And the producers or creator, the writer or whatever of Married with Children says, hey man, this show is really successful. You're paying me 75 cents a week. You need to pay me more. We're going into season 2 here. You want me to write for the show again? You got to. And they said, this is a really stupid show. Anybody can write for this, Married with Children. So the writer went, oh, yeah? Okay, fine. And he left, and he went to the WB, and he launched that show with Nikki Cox, which was a complete mimic of Married with Children, so much so that every cast member looked like a cast member from Nikki Cox was Christina Applegate. Ed O'Neill, the father in, I can't remember what the name of that show was. And the only difference was they said, you know what? I'm going to make it even stupider. And this is literally what he said. There's going to be a sock puppet in mind. And so there was like a live action sock puppet who was a character in this show.
The hell?
I think they got rid of that after a couple of seasons, but I can't remember what was the name of that Nikki Cox show. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Unhappily Ever After?
Boom! Married with children, guy didn't get paid, went to the WB and created Unhappily Ever After. Gee, even the titles, even the titles are the same. Relative.
Yeah, I never really saw Unhappily Ever After. I don't think I had access to all the networks all the time.
Oh, WB was a fly-by-night network that just popped up, and you being up sticks, they might not have been a coverage area.
Oh, and I'm looking at the years. This was on 95 to 99. I was in college. I didn't watch TV for 5 years.
Did you see the cast? You ever ask for a side-by-side? Do a side-by-side of Unhappily Ever After and Married with Children, and it's like, okay, that's that one. That's that one. That's the fathers look exactly the same. Ed O'Neill looks exactly like the dad in Unhappily Ever After.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. And so it's the same thing. It has a play on marriage for the title, and it's about two people who are at each other's throats. Oh, yeah. I get it.
The only real difference is that both shows had a smoke show daughter. One was Christina Applegate. The other was Nikki Cox. The only difference, honestly, besides the sock puppet, the only difference is that in Unhappily Ever After, the smoke show daughter was also a genius, whereas Christina Applegate's character, Kelly Bundy, was an idiot. She was an idiot.
Airhead total. Yeah.
They reversed the kids. Like Bud was the one that was kind of smart and crafty, and Kelly was a moron, except on the Unhappily Ever After, it was reversed. The smoke show daughter was a genius, and the boy was a moron. So
okay, so spawned from Unhappily Ever After. Boy, I really missed all this show. Kevin Connolly, who you know better as E from Entourage.
Yeah, and he was the son. He was the dumb one. He was the Bud Bundy of Unhappily Ever After.
So what did Bobcat Goldthwait do in Unhappily Ever After?
He was he was the sock puppet. Oh, no, he says it wasn't a sock puppet. The family dog was the puppet. Yeah, it was a family. Okay, for some reason I thought it was a sock puppet. Bobcat Goldthwait voiced the dog who talked. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds like a crap gimmick, but he had to sell it to someone, right?
Yeah.
And then also the Justin Burfield, who was Ross on. I'm sorry, who was Reese on Malcolm in the Middle. That kid.
Okay.
You'd recognize him if you saw his face because he's been in 10 other things. He's like one of those that guy kind of thing.
Since we're doing a whole 80s TV thing here, I wanted to, I showed you the Joe Pesci thing. Now, I wanted to show the Joe Pesci thing, and then I wanted to show this. This is going around on Twitter today. This afternoon, I pulled this. You were just talking about the people who came out of, that show, Unhappily Ever After.
Yes.
This is a compilation. I want you to enjoy this, okay? This is a compilation of all the people who appeared in episodes of Miami Vice. We are talking multiple Oscar winners. We got EGOTs. We got all of these people did appearances on Miami Vice. So are you ready? Watch this. Check this out. This is incredible. Okay, is it sharing? It is. Okay, very good. Watch this.
Everybody used it. Not at first. Mason Mann didn't want his holy words and images traveling through the same microchips as the bunny chip.
Your son is a hell of a ball player. And he's put himself in a very advantageous position with these playoffs.
The lieutenant's been here.
Bruce Willis!
He knows how it goes.
You hit Cartagena like two legit
The
smugglers.
dad
You
from
make
6
a buy,
Feet Under.
and you bring the drugs back into Miami. You always this efficient.
Julia Roberts!
Not always. Sometimes I come on then.
I noticed.
We were beginning to wonder if maybe you changed your mind.
But why would I want to change my mind?
Al Bundy!
Am I dealing with something
We were
different?
just talking about him.
Not half bad, detective. Too bad things didn't work out for you.
Pretty nice watches.
And Phil Collins.
likewise the
Don't ignore
Post.
Phil Collins next to her.
Right.
Liam Neeson.
They know about the beach. They know.
They know.
I run a modeling agency here in Miami. It's not Madison Avenue, but we do it.
Whoa. Wait.
Benicio del Toro.
If I was working for him, you'd be dead right now.
I don't bribe people.
Stanley Tucci!
Have you ever have a vendetta against me, Mr. Monster?
Well, what would you
With
call
hair.
it? An admiration society?
Helena Bonham Carter! At 12? What is
Said, I'm a junkie.
You're the punk!
Free La Bamba!
And he died a better cop than you ever could have been!
No, that's not me. I don't make hits, I make deals.
Make one right now.
Okay, just let me breathe.
Come on, man, give us a break. We got a little
Vigo
emergency
Mortensen!
practice.
Fix the blanket so it looks like it's still in the car.
Wow.
Glad to see we're off to such
Oliver
a positive
Platt,
start.
a young,
I don't trust my mother.
Thin.
yeah, not
should I
fat
trust you?
Oliver Platt.
You're under arrest, Alvarado.
Tubbs.
That's very funny.
Michael Madsen!
Gotta take your act up there on the stage. I think the people would enjoy
Before he
it.
filled out for a Reservoir.
Just fell in love.
The late
We
great.
did nothing but upfront with each other.
Wow.
How great was that? How Miami Vice? Are you kidding me?
How do you know Bill Paxton was the last one?
Yeah, Bill Paxton was the last one. That's it.
Okay, so I remember Miami Vice. Part of the appeal was when you tuned on it because it came on Friday nights, and everybody just scheduled their lives around it because VCRs were in their infancy, and your dad didn't know how to program it yet, and he didn't trust you, and so that was one of the things that you would talk about over the weekend. Did you see who was on Miami Vice?
I have a friend. This is, you speak no lies. I had a friend. This is in college. I didn't go to this college, Northern Illinois University, but I used to go up there every weekend and hang out with all my friends from high school who went there. I went to Columbia. It was in downtown Chicago. Northern Illinois University. It's kind of like to Chicago. It's like what Denton is, UNT, University of North Texas.
Sure.
So NIU, we would go up there every weekend and we would party, and all my buddies lived in a dorm, and so we stayed with them in the dorm and then later in the frat house. But one of our really good friends who was in their frat, who became a good buddy, still to this day possesses the nickname Miami Mike because everyone called, he was known throughout college as Miami. Hey, is Miami? Where's Miami? What's up with Miami? We saw him like 10 years ago. Miami! He's like, what's up? Hey, Miami Mike's coming. Dude was called Miami Mike because he refused to go out on Friday night to party until after Miami Vice was over. 10 o'clock at night. He'd be sitting in his dorm at 9 o'clock at night watching Miami Vice. Just let me know where you're going to be and I'll meet you there. But I got to watch. Where's Mike at? Well, you know how he is. It's Friday. He's got to watch Miami Vice. Mike.
Yeah, such a dilemma in Texas because I was one of thousands of kids who had to learn how to program the VCR. Because when football season rolled around, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to miss the football game? Or are you supposed to miss Miami Vice? It's like, well, my daughter's a majorette in the band, and I can't really ditch that.
Friday Night Lights is important down here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not if all the kids are strangers, but if your daughter's in the band and she's going to be marching at halftime, now Dad has a dilemma. Like, damn it! I'm like, Dad, we have this thing called the VCR, and it can record, but we're not going to be here. I'm like, Dad, you can program it to record when you're not going to be here. Well, how are we going to find a tape long enough, Dad? It doesn't work like that.
Tape long enough.
And so then I would program the VCR, and he was like, did you start it? No, Dad, I didn't start it. It's going to start on its own at 7 o'clock. Well, how do you know? Because it's the machine. It doesn't have a choice, Dad. And
Your
he's like,
generation trusting technology.
yeah, and he's like, why'd you turn the TV off? I'm like, because you don't need the TV on. No, I think we need to leave it on. How's it going to record if the TV's not on? Because it's the VCR, Dad. It gets the signal before the TV. He's like, can we leave the TV on just in case? Sure, Dad. We can leave the TV on. The whole time we're going to Carthage for a football game, and we'll be back at about, I don't know, midnight or so.
Carthage?
Yeah.
Like North Africa Carthage? Or
Well, it's comparable. It's over there by Marshall. It's almost to Shreveport, yeah.
all right, so it's far.
Yeah, people get them mixed up all the time, The Bulldogs versus the Punic Wars, right?
Wait a second. Do I have that right? Hannibal.
What?
Hannibal from Carthage.
Yes,
right?
Hannibal was from Carthage, yeah.
Okay, all right. I was like, oh, where was Carthage? I was like, okay.
It's where they Tatooine was basically, where they did Mos Eisley. That's right outside of Carthage.
Oh yeah.
And the village is still there because they went out and in the jungles in Tunisia, the desert in Tunisia, right outside of where Carthage was, but now it's Tunis is what it's called now. And so it's just a few miles out in the desert. They built this whole set but they didn't pay anybody to tear it down, and no one goes out and messes with it because it's just the middle of the desert. So you can go there now.
And people 1,000 years from now will think it's legit ruins from not a movie set, but actually something from like the days of Alexander the Great or something even further back, I guess. So funny you bring that up because this is people say that I don't accomplish anything anymore, and maybe they're right. But I think the last time we did this show, I told you that I had become a card-carrying subscriber to the Disney Plus network, and that I was going to attempt to watch every Marvel film in order.
Oh my God!
In every proper order, chronological, not the order they released in theaters, in order of the cinematic universe timeline.
Well, do you realize what you've bit off here? In that 24 movies?
Yeah, I do now. Yeah, and I'm about 12 in. I'm about halfway in. However, I also, at the same time, I said that I was going to watch all the Star Wars movies in the exact same order. They were easier. I ripped through the Star Wars movies. I have completely finished all of the Star Wars movies from beginning to end, and I feel pretty good in saying that the original, not the original three, not the ones that were released in the 70s, but Episode 1, Episode 2, and Episode 3 are the worst. They're the weakest of the lot. I think the best of the lot is what's the second to last one? Like the
Last Jedi.
Okay, I think The Last Jedi is like number one. That's my favorite. I think that's the best one. I also love Rise of Skywalker. I thought that, and it's the most recent one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back to Empire Strikes Back. That's my top three. Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, Empire Strikes Back. Those are my boom, boom, and a boom.
Yeah, so a couple things in the background that really explain the prequels and why they're so different. Number one is the first episode is considered to be a throwaway. If you look at the order,
one with little baby Anakin, like racing the pod racer. That's like those are like stupid kids movies, I thought.
Yeah. But there's a certain sequence to in which you're supposed to watch the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, and I think I got it right. I think I got it right. Are you telling me I didn't?
No. So it depends on. It was kind of messed up by the last three sequels, but out of the first six, it was clear that the storyline was about Luke Skywalker. However, if you watch it in chronological order, you spoil the big surprise in The Empire Strikes Back. So
which is I am your father, Luke. Yeah.
Yeah. So in order to get the story in the way George Lucas intended, you have to watch episode 4, episode 5. Then you have to go back and watch episode 2 and then episode 3, and then come back and watch Return of the Jedi episode 6. You skip the first one. It is just a prequel that's all on its own, and it's so separate from the storyline. All it really does, the only purpose it really serves, is to set the context for the world that the real story is going to happen in.
That's interesting because I would agree with that. The first one is the Star Wars film that you are supposed to watch first. I believe it was made in 1998 or 1999. That Star Wars film is the worst of all of them. Is that the one with Jar Jar Binks? Because
Jar Jar's in episode 2 as well, but he's not a main character. All right, now there is some background on that though. When the Star Wars franchise was first brought up, it was George Lucas's baby, and they gave him quite a bit of free reign, for creative control. But they still had people from the studio chirping over his shoulder, like, no, you need to take that out, or no, we're not going to do that, or no, that's stupid. There was someone to check him and give him some bounds, so his recessive genes didn't manifest himself in a way that the rest of the world would see, but he was blind to. Well, when they went back and made episode 1, one of his demands was, you're not going to have anybody chirping on my shoulder. I'm going to do anything I want. I'm going to do everything I want. No one's going to tell me different. So he surrounded himself with yes men, and everybody saw Jar Jar Binks, and everybody hated Jar Jar Binks, but no one had the gonads to tell George Lucas that you shouldn't do Jar Jar Binks. And for the few people that did try and raise him and be like, are you sure about this guy? Yes! We're doing what I want to do. We're not going to do anything different. And so what you had, and it's weird, like all creative people are like that. I'm like that. I can tell, like, 10 jokes that I think are funny, and one of them is god-awfully offensive, and I can't tell. I need another person around me to be like, Parker, you can't do that. So,
yes, you do.
yeah, I do. But I kind of had the George Lucas thing, and no one was there to tell him, or no one, he wouldn't listen to anyone about Jar Jar Binks. And that was the short one. That was one of the big shortcomings. And he was kind of trying to do that on purpose because he wanted you to see that before the Empire came around, before the Jedi Order fell, the world not only was a safer, more peaceful place, it was almost childlike and whimsical. He just went way too far on that swing of the pendulum before he took you all the way back to the Empire Strikes Back.
Those movies, the ones with Portman, were just, and I hate to put it on her. It's not her. She was fine. As, by the way, interesting thing that I didn't know until I rewatched it. So I have always believed that Keira Knightley stole Natalie Portman's face. I look at Keira Knightley and then I look at Natalie Portman and I'm like, I can't tell that you. If you just showed me two random headshots with no names or anything and said which one is Keira Knightley, which one is Natalie Portman, I'd go. I would have to just guess. It would just be a pick'em. It would just be like, okay, that's a. And this was before, I guess, Love Actually is the movie that probably broke Keira Knightley. So this was way before that. And is this the second, like 2001, where Natalie Portman is now Senator
Amidala?
Yeah, whatever she is. Or no, she's still the Empress. This is when she was the Empress. Keira Knightley, an unknown Keira Knightley, Natalie Portman was the star, but an unknown Keira Knightley played Natalie Portman's handmaiden, the Empress's handmaiden, and she's also the character who was her double for the
that got shot.
For the first 30 minutes of the movie, every time you see the character that you think is Natalie Portman, it's actually Keira Knightley. And then it's revealed. And I felt so justified because I've always been like, well, maybe I'm just objectifying these women with their beauty. There's got to be obvious differences between Keira Knightley and Natalie Portman. No, there aren't. And even George Lucas knew it way back 20 years ago that they have the same exact face. Crazy. But also one last thing before we don't need to go into a whole Star Wars thing because I'm not a Star Wars geek. I'm not. I grew up with Star Wars as a little kid, but as soon as I started to like girls, I moved away from that. You know what I mean? I didn't stay with the Star Wars stuff. That was as a child, I did childish things, and that's what Star Wars was for me. The first three movies, but I did watch all of them, and when I say all of them, that includes the I've seen The Mandalorian, so I'm all caught up on that. Rogue One. I watched Rogue One. I'm not getting into any of the animation.
I thought it was fantastic. I loved Rogue One.
Rogue One was terrific. Yeah, you're right. And I would almost now Rogue One is a part of the offshoot film series. They are legitimate films.
They're called canon. Yeah.
Yes, but they are. They're not part of the direct line of ascension for the Star Wars movies of the story of Vader and then Kylo Ren and, Luke into Rey into, all that. Not part of that. These are just also things going on in the universe while that other stuff is playing out. Rogue One was fantastic. I had forgotten how good Rogue One was. Rogue One was tremendous. But do you know what else got shit on really bad? And I enjoyed from start to finish? Solo. I love the Solo origin story.
I've never heard anyone say anything bad about it.
It bombed. It is considered, pull up the Wikipedia page on it. It is considered the only Star Wars film to have ever bombed at the box office. And I don't know what the reason for it was. Donald Glover as a young Lando Calrissian is awesome. I mean, it's just so fun. It shows you how Han and Chewbacca became friends, how they met. I mean, it was just, when Chewbacca is introduced in the pit, when a young Han Solo is thrown into the pit, fed to the beast, and the beast comes out of his cave, he's going to tear Han Solo limb for limb, and it turns out it's Chewbacca. It's like, oh, yeah, that's how they meet. He's not going to, the beast isn't going to kill Han. They're going to become lifelong buddies. It's great. I thoroughly enjoyed my 3.5 weeks it took to go through all the Star Wars movies.
All right. Have you done Mandalorian yet?
I have. I watched every episode of The Mandalorian. I like.
Okay. Yeah.
Some of them are a little slow though. But I do like The Mandalorian.
Well, Mandalorian's impressive because it's clearly a spaghetti western. It's the rifleman Chuck Connor or Silverado.
It's Sergio Leone. It is a
Yeah.
Sergio Leone sentence, and that is what the original pitch for Star Wars was: a spaghetti western in space. That's what George Lucas pitched to the studio that got it made. But the Mandalorian is hitting that. Checking all of the Sergio Leone spaghetti western boxes. Absolutely. Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, Trinity Is My Name. All of those movies. That's exactly the vibe that you get from it.
Yep.
I mean, that's totally what The Mandalorian
Well, and they also do a really cool job making sure each individual episode is its own book. It has its beginning, its middle, and its end. There is no to be continued, but it is also a storyline. But basically, in every episode, you're introduced to a whole new world you've never seen, and by the end of the episode, you're never going to see that crap again.
And guest stars. It's done like 80 shows where you have guest stars.
Bill Burr and whatnot, yeah.
And then they're gone, and you never see them again.
I think we'll see Bill Burr again, right? He's got to come back because they had a chance to kill him, and he ended up not killing him, and so that's a little
I guess we saw
foreshadowing.
Gina Carano for a couple of episodes. She was in a couple of episodes. She didn't just get one and done. But yeah, no, it's great. It's even stylized like a Sergio Leone spaghetti western, like from the graphics and the title sequences and all of that. I mean, it's very much. It's also got a little grindhouse in it. It's got a little bit of that 1970s drive-in kind of vibe about the production.
I don't know grindhouse.
Not a Quentin Tarantino guy. He's big into grindhouse.
I like Quentin Tarantino. I just hadn't seen grindhouse.
Well, no. Well, grindhouse was a genre of filmmaking from the 1970s, and they were usually, when you would go to the drive-in in the 1970s, there'd be one big movie, and then there'd be like 2 B movies that were on before. And the B movies typically came out of what was known as the Grindhouse studio system, where it was unknown actors.
Didn't he have a movie called Grindhouse though? Like the girl with like the gun leg or something?
Right. Exactly. Yes. And Quentin Tarantino's Grindhouse was actually 3 separate movies in one movie. Like one was, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like one movie was 30 minutes and it would end, and then there'd be like a crazy intermission thing, like you were at the drive-in, and then the next movie would start. And yeah, that's so Grindhouse was more of a genre, a style of filmmaking that was popular and used for drive-in filler. When people go to the drive-in, they just want to be there for 2 hours. They want to be there all night. So you'd go to the drive-in and you'd pay whatever and stay there, and you'd see 2 terrible movies and a really good one.
And the one you wanted to see?
Yeah, and the one you wanted to see. Yeah.
It's like the opening act when you go to a band. You're like, who is this? The Dental Chairs and a band called the Pilot? Okay.
Exactly. That is exactly it. Ross Rubio in the chat room, he says, I know these aren't network shows, but do you remember First and 10 on HBO? It was out around the same time as Dream On, which I also liked. I love Dream On. Dream On was one of the first truly clever shows where they did. Are you familiar with Dream On?
Was that the one with Parker Lewis?
No, no, I don't think the guy. Wendy Malick, who went on to be on that that show that
Arrested Development.
No. Wendy Malick was on that David Spade show with David Spade and George. Just Shoot Me. Remember that show? Just Shoot Me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't watch it, but I'm aware it exists.
Wendy Malick in that show played the sexy, hot former supermodel who
wasn't Dream On like the guy who had like the 4 parts of his personality in his head?
No, that's Herman's Head.
Oh, okay. And that was Parker Lewis, right?
Parker Lewis was no.
All right, so what was Dream On? I remember the commercials for it, but
Dream On's gimmick, and it was genius. What Martin? I can't remember his name now. Martin, the character's name was Martin something. It's really clever. He was a divorced guy in New York City, and he would so he'd be having interactions with people, and then suddenly it would cut to a scene from an old 1950s movie. And then it would cut, like, that's what he's thinking, like in his head, like it played out all of the stuff that he was thinking in terms of, I got to show you, because it was really clever. It was really well received. And people were like, well, that's actually, they're doing, yeah, that's it. Tupper was his last name. Marty Tupper.
Tupper.
Yeah. You know what? Here.
None of this is ringing a bell.
Yeah, so it will. It will.
Man, I wish my parents had been more financially successful and we could have had cable growing up.
HBO.
Yeah. Satellite dish or something.
All right, so here, let's see what this is. Yeah, okay, so we'll just pull this up. Here's an example of Dreamon. Now, we'll probably, the show, we have not gotten this show.
Copyright clips.
We haven't had that problem in a long time.
Here comes the flag.
Let's see if you get an example. Oh, there you go. Okay, so it did stuff like this.
You've been outdoors? It's like a winter wonderland.
I'm going crazy in the middle of this loving family.
Where is Susan?
See, it did.
She's not here
Like,
yet.
that's what he's
Nobody's
thinking.
here yet. Jeremy, go wait for her in the lobby, will you?
You go wait.
All right.
Jeremy, your father's a little... So just...
Why don't I go with you? I want to see what this guy looks like.
What do you mean that the bride is not here yet?
And your birthday alone in some bar.
Roger, happy birthday.
I'm going with them.
See, it's like whenever he thinks, he thinks in terms of like old classic movies. All right. Anyway, that was Dream On.
What were those subtitles? Was that Dutch?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I apologize. It was a bad. I
Danish?
did it on the fly. But anyway, back to you, Ross Rubio.
First and 10. Did you ever see that?
First and 10. I watched every episode of First and 10.
Shut up.
First and 10 was a story set among an NFL football team in Los Angeles. O.J. Simpson, I believe, was one of the stars of First.
Oh, everybody loves that guy.
Pretty much everybody that was in that Joe Pesci movie that I showed, or trailer opening sequence that I showed you 2 minutes ago. Your Bubba Smith was in First and 10. Your Dick Butkus was in First and 10. Your Fred the Hammer. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. It was about football players. It was a show about. It was Ballers if Ballers had been made in the 80s by people who didn't really care. It was like, so if you're familiar with what Ballers was, the rock show on HBO, First and 10 was kind of, but I enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought it was a fun show. It's okay. Very good. Very good. Yeah. I said that. First and 10 had O.J. Simpson. He was like one of the big stars of First and 10. So John, my boy John says we should do Spielberg versus Lucas. You got Spielberg, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, just out because he's far more prolific. If you want to talk about who is better, that's a toss up. But Spielberg's done so much more. He has so many more trophies and skins on his wall than George Lucas. Not to take anything away from George Lucas, but does George Lucas have a Schindler's List?
No. Well, no. But George Lucas. I mean, I can't think of anything that George Lucas did other than Star Wars after Star Wars. I mean, famously, American Graffiti, which is one of the great American films of the 1970s. That was
never seen it.
You've never seen American Graffiti?
No, dude, it came out before I was born.
Oh, yeah, but so what? So did what? You've never seen Casablanca or Citizen Kane? Or
No. I've never seen either one of those.
You've never seen, how about Dr. Strangelove? Or
I did see Dr. Strangelove, How I Learned to Love the Bomb. Yeah.
No, American Graffiti is the movie that got Happy Days. The show Happy Days?
Mm-hmm.
American Graffiti was such a hit, such an unbelievable sleeper hit from this unknown director that everybody was buzzing about the entire year that it came out. American Graffiti, oh, it's so good, oh, it's so funny. That ABC, looking to just, like we were talking about earlier, there was no originality. They said, yeah, let's do a show set in the 50s, just like American Graffiti. And it's so funny because Henry Winkler was in American Graffiti. The Fonz. They just even grabbed the Fonz out of American Graffiti. Harrison Ford's first role. I mean, it's George Lucas. But Harrison Ford's first role was in American Graffiti. The first thing that he ever did. Yeah, American Graffiti is a good movie. You should treat yourself. You'll enjoy it.
Okay. The second biggest franchise under George Lucas's tag also includes Harrison Ford. A little franchise called Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but that's a co-production with Steven Spielberg. You can't.
Oh, is it? Dang.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, never mind.
You didn't know that? Indiana Jones is Spielberg and Lucas coming together. Yeah, and working together and creating.
Didn't they do that on a few movies? What else did they work on together? Was it like Jurassic Park or something?
I don't know. Is Jurassic Park Spielberg? I just assume every big movie of the last 50 years was Spielberg except for Transformers. That's the only one that's not
Yeah,
Spielberg.
it was like Michael Bay or.
Yeah, it was Michael Bay, I believe. Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm going through George Lucas's IMDb, and this is really disappointing. This is not what I expected. It's half of them are Star Wars. There's Lego Star Wars. There's Star Wars Episode 3.
He doesn't have the work ethic. He created the genie got out of the bottle. He had, he's a billionaire off one film series. Why not just sleep in?
Well, look, there's all the Indiana Jones movies, but then there's the Adventures of Young Indiana Jones. There's all the Star Wars movies, but then there's like the Lego Star Wars series.
He didn't have anything to do with those. He wasn't like, sitting at a typewriter writing the Lego Star Wars. That's not George Lucas. He's not.
How excited are we about George Lucas's job with Willow, the medieval fantasy midget? Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah.
Well, that wasn't a great movie. I don't want to see it now because I know that wouldn't stand the test of time.
I enjoyed Willow. Val Kilmer, Warwick Davis. Do you know that Willow is being turned into a TV series? Willow is it's like going to air in the next couple of months. It's like the trailers for it are already out there floating around. Warwick Davis is back playing Willow. Warwick Davis. It takes place obviously later because Warwick Davis is now Willow as an old man. But yeah, it's the same thing. I think Disney is doing it. George Lucas, Star Wars, Disney, Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's going to be a Disney Plus series. So they're bringing Willow back. I don't know. I would see it. I would watch it again. Willow was good.
But the original question is Spielberg versus Lucas. We both land Spielberg.
I mean, man, look, not for nothing, but Close Encounters is my second favorite movie of all time. So that's
all right. So Ross Rubio says First and 10 had O.J. Simpson. And I just remember between that and Naked Gun and all these other projects that he did, how beloved was O.J. Simpson when he slit that lady's throat? Yeah,
he was. Nastravia, my Russian friend.
Dude, and he didn't shoot him like a decent human being. He basically hacked their heads off.
He butchered them. He hog butchered them. Yeah.
That's a little personal, and that's a little bloody. You're going to get your hands dirty. You're going to get blood on your shoes. You're going to get blood on your gloves. You're going to get blood on your Bronco. Yeah.
I don't know that it's premeditated. I mean, premeditated to the extent that about 10 minutes before, he probably decided he was going to do it, but it's not like he worked it out for a couple of weeks. He just lost his shit, and he butchered two human beings like an absolute fucking madman. I mean, that's who he is.
Man, I've been really mad. Like, I've had a girlfriend cheat on me. Never did I think about slitting her throat. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break up, right? That's all that happened.
The big discussion now, well, not now, but the big discussion that's been going on for about 5 years now concerning O.J. Simpson is that we were not really tuned into the whole CTE thing, but O.J.'s brains are scrambled. You know, that O.J., what are they, I don't know what the actual CTE is. That's why we call it CTE, because it's like chronic encephalopathy.
Yeah, we know encephala
something like that.
Cephalopathy, snuffleupagus.
But yeah, apparently OJ not right. And if you watch his Instagram now and his Twitter and all that kind of stuff, dude ain't right. Dude.
Well, I know. Well, I'm just hoping that one day he can find the killer, because he's dedicated his life to find it. Has he found him yet? I mean, he was probably he probably spent most of the day looking.
Every morning when he shaves, he finds the killer. Every morning.
Yeah, and I love the post he does, like talking about the hot topics of the day, where he talks about like the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, and he's like on the 9th green of some beautiful golf course.
He's the best. It's like, as far as guys who got away with double homicide, there ain't nobody more entertaining than O.J. Simpson. I follow him. When I see an O.J. Simpson tweet, I'm like, yep, let's see what he's getting into. In fact, just yesterday, he had a big tweet about Antonio Brown. He called Antonio Brown crazy. O.J. called Antonio Brown crazy.
For the first time in his life, Antonio Brown sat down and calmed down and took a sober look in the mirror and like, what the heck is wrong with me?
Yep.
Oh my God. I guess I'm crazy. Holy crap.
Hey, I got a story that I wanted to share with you. Unless you've got something that's going on more important that you wanted to offer the fine folks joining us here tonight. You got something? You got something?
Well, I have something, but it's kind of lame. It's just me barfing some grievances, and that's all.
Go ahead. Let's hear them.
Man, I hate moving. I just absolutely hate moving.
Can you give me a second? Can I just get a little more ice for my cocktail? I'm having a cocktail this evening.
Well,
so,
here, can I get a refill too? Can just put on some music and I'll do the same thing.
Oh wait, you're going too?
Yeah. I'm gonna go too. We'll just go get a drink. Just play some music or something.
I don't have my headphones in.
Okay.
I see you're talking to me, but there we go. Okay, folks, we'll be right back. Drink time. LA, you belong to me. LA. Crazy Joe Pesci show. LA. With the Bud Kiss 2 and Bubba Smith. LA. We blew the budget on Dean Martin. LA. So here's a Spuds McKenzie knockoff. Call him Hank the Dog. LA. You belong to me. LA. Oh! All right. Do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to tell James about that. I was just reminded of it. About that show, Half Nelson, the Joe Pesci one from the 80s. That had Dick Butkus, Bubba Smith, Fred the Hammer Williamson, Dean Martin, and a Spuds McKenzie knockoff. In fact, I don't even know that I told you guys this today when I talked about it during the nooncast. Is he coming back?
You have a pretty lady voice.
Sounds like he's coming back. So here he is. I forgot to tell you, I sort of buried the lead on the whole Half Nelson thing. That's the Joe Pesci show from the 80s. So
there's more on the Half Nelson?
Oh yeah, no, much more. Very important because we chased a rabbit and we started having a little fun about it. So watching that opening sequence, LA, you belong. And by the way, don't think for a moment that wasn't 100% lifted from Randy Newman's I Love LA, where he's driving around LA singing I Love LA. That's total rip. The opening sequence is like directly.
Do you know what I saw in that opening sequence? It's the same thing I've seen about half of the opening sequences from the 80s. It's just a big wall, like a tidal wave of cocaine. Like apparently that's what all of you were on, and it's so obvious looking back.
12. What do you mean all of you? I was 12.
Well, no, I mean the people that were making TV shows and especially their intros and whoever was picking out the fashion and the camera angles and the music and the guy playing the drum machine. Everything, like when you go back and look at the 80s, it's just all cocaine.
Oh, yeah. It was everywhere. It was fun. It wasn't addictive, James. It wasn't. It was just.
No, I could quit at any time.
That's not like that evil weed.
I'm in control, yeah.
Please. Try it. You'll never feel better.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? And then like 10 years of that and everybody's like strung out. Studios are just in flames.
Right. You're standing on the balcony like Jenny and Forrest Gump. Right.
Right. It's not addictive. Trust me, I can quit anytime. So that show, after seeing that opening sequence going around Twitter, I went, YouTube's great. I wonder if they actually have it. So there were 6 episodes. It was canceled after 6 episodes. All 6 episodes are on YouTube. If you want to watch that show, all 6 episodes are on YouTube. And I watched the pilot. I watched the entire pilot. It was an hour and 20 minutes.
Why? Why was it that long? Not why did you watch it?
Because it was a 1-hour show. It was a 1-hour show. It looks like it's not a half-hour sitcom. It's like a 1-hour, show.
It looked like one of those half-hour sitcom.
Right.
And so if you have an hour and was it an hour and 20 minutes?
It was hour and 25 minutes.
Okay, so if you had commercials of that was a 2-hour pilot.
It was a 2-hour movie. The pilot debuted as a 2-hour movie. And so I watched it. the other day because I'm a failure, and those are the kinds of things that failures do at 3:00 on a Monday afternoon. They could be doing things that would earn them money, or they could be, sitting on a beanbag chair, watching on a laptop an episode of a bad TV show from '85. James, it's not a bad show. Not a terrible show. Joe Pesci is a great actor, and the writing was Glenn Larson, who went on to do all kinds of really great TV things.
I don't know Glenn Larson's name.
Pull up what Glenn Larson did.
Why don't it's my ignorance. It's not a slight on Glenn Larson.
I know. But he room full of Emmy awards, and he's a Writers Guild. I mean, he's a very well respected guy, and this was one of his early jobs when he was a younger man. So I'm watching this thing. And
Knight Rider, Fall Guy, Magnum PI, Battlestar Galactica. Holy Lord!
Creator of Battlestar Galactica, my friend.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, but he's done a lot of stuff. So I'm watching this and I'm like, this dialogue is actually pretty damn good. And the cast was, you thought the opening sequence, dude, everybody that was in that show was recognizable. Everybody, even guys playing small walk-on roles. You're like, oh my God, check that out. It's Johnny Depp. It's a 19-year-old Johnny Depp as a valet attendant. I mean, it was actually not the premise is stupid and it's ridiculous, but the stuff with Dean Martin and Joe Pesci is incredible. These are two icons who are just having fun. I mean, Joe Pesci wasn't an icon, but we know Joe Pesci can act. We know that Joe Pesci is a good actor, and Dean Martin had already proven that he can do anything. He was the king of cool. He was like Mr. So, I mean, it was an enjoyable show. I watched the entire first episode. Me and my friend Danny on Twitter, we got into a thread because Danny ended up watching the first episode too. And there's a whole Twitter thread between me and Danny where we're going back and forth like, man, I didn't think it would be good. I know, it was actually kind of fun. I go, it was great. So there, I just wanted to double back on that.
All right. So, Glenn, that you just mentioned there, Buck Rogers, BJ and the Bear.
Okay, so he did a lot of stupid stuff. There's a lot that's not. Maybe it wasn't Glenn Larson. Maybe it's somebody else who was involved.
No, he was there, man. And luckily, Half Nelson only had 8 episodes or whatever in 1985. Because then in 1986, that's when he started cranking out, or was doing his 86 episode jaunt in Knight Rider from 82 to 86. Right. Then he did the Fall Guy. Then he did the Highwayman, which was a TV series. You remember that? The Highwayman?
I do remember the Highwayman.
Didn't last very good, but I remember my dad liked it. And I thought it was all right. He was 158 episodes credited for Magnum PI on top of that. Jesus Christ.
Okay, no, it's not the Highwayman. It was, all right, I might need Ross Rubio on this because Ross Rubio seems to be in the same vibe as me when it comes to 80s TV shows. There was a short-lived spank show on HBO or Showtime, like one of these sexy, like there was another show called Zalman King's Red Shoe Diaries, and if you were a young man, you would watch Zalman King's Red Shoe Diaries. It's very sexy.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but the way you're saying it, I get it.
Okay,
yeah, that's all you have to do is your delivery. I know what that means.
It was an anthology series where every episode was just a different story with different actors, and it was always just needless sexuality and nudity, and it was dirty. It was just really sexy stuff. Joan Severance, who is one of my all-time favorite babes, Joan Severance was a regular. She played multiple roles in Red Shoe Diaries, but there was also a show called The Hitcher. Ross Rubio or Jeff Glenn, maybe even. Do you remember a show called The Hitcher, which I think it was on HBO? It was about a guy who was a hitchhiker. In every episode, he would get picked up by a different person, and story would go from there. Whatever the story was, whatever the situation brought them to. But that one was also like super sexy. Like there was a lot of like just gratuitous boobs. Not funny. I mean, these were not like silly, crazy, silly stuff. Like Ski Patrol or something, but no, these were like supposed to be dramas. These were very serious, and then there was always like a hot sex scene or something like that. Yeah. John says it's funny. Was in at house party in California for New Year's Eve. Saw a sign in the bathroom. Don't do coke in the bathroom. Like that's an issue there.
Yeah.
That probably is.
Yeah. Do it in the game room like a regular person. Don't be holding up the toilet. People are waiting.
My man Ross, of course, he says he remembers The Hitcher, but he remembers Red Shoe Diaries more. Oh, God.
Tell me about Red Shoe Diaries. How does Ross know that and you know that and I don't?
We're a little bit older than you. Red Shoe Diaries.
Is that another HBO thing?
I don't know what Red Shoe Diaries was.
Let me see how fast I can Google it here.
Mm-hmm.
See, I feel like I missed so much because we didn't have cable when I was growing up. Oh, it was on Showtime. Yeah, so I never saw that. 92 to 97. And then it was distributed by Playboy Entertainment overseas. Oh.
Well, there you go. That's why.
Yeah, okay, I see.
You get why they might.
Man, y'all got all the good softcore stuff growing up. I had nothing.
Here, let me show you.
Ooh, George Clinton did the soundtrack.
She was
starring David Duchovny.
Oh yeah, he was in a couple of them. Sure.
Well, that's interesting because he had to go to rehab for being addicted to sex.
Yeah.
Remember the sex addiction? I always thought that was the lamest of the addictions. It's like, I'm sorry, I just can't stop having sex. I'm like, I think that's all of us, bud.
Oh, shit. I'm trying to show you Joan Severance, but you know what I did? I accidentally went to, I should have gone to Bing because Bing's got better pictures for these purposes. Hold on. Let me show you this. This is the only reason that I watched Red Shoe Diaries.
Ross Rubio knows Showtime. Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. What are we both like super pervs right now? I
think we're just regular just run of the mill pervs. Yeah. We're not super pervs. We're not Ron Jeremy or.
You're right. Yeah, we are normal. We are normal perv guys.
We're not creepy producer at CNN.
So that's what I guess that's how. I mean, it wasn't a box, because it was a Showtime show. But you get
but that's like the Biden sniff pose.
Yeah. This is Joan Severance. Oh my God,
I can't see her.
Yeah, let me get you some good Joan Severance. I'll get you some good Joan Severance.
I can just look her up. Hang on.
Yeah, but there's
you want everyone to see?
God, yeah, Joan Severance, man.
Yeah, she's got the classic pretty face.
For about 18 months. For about 18 months of my life, she was the most beautiful woman on the face of the earth. She was just, man, she was something. Here's another picture from Red Shoe Diary. Nah, you know what? I can't really. Is this a Red Shoe Diaries? Yeah. All right, we don't need to go into that. What is wrong with me? I don't understand why I'm so sexually charged. I don't know what's happening to me.
Well, how long has it been, Pugs?
Over a year and counting. I know, right? I know. Look, man, I had a lot of sex in my day. I'm an old man now. I have absolutely. Close to 2 years. Woo! I told you, man. I don't have a sex drive. I don't have any need for it. No. Wait a second. Okay. Hold on.
I would die. Look, you know what? Part of me.
No. Because wait, I don't want to misrepresent myself. So yeah, before it would have been the February before the pandemic shut everything down. Nothing since pandemic. Yeah, I've gone entire pandemic. Absolutely.
So February 2020.
Yeah. Well,
that
was when the girl I was dating moved back to LA because the pandemic shut everything down.
Yeah, in some ways, I have the reverse fantasy where I'm in my mid 40s, and so my testosterone level is supposed to like fall through the floor, and I'm supposed to be exhausted with all this stuff, and I can just come home and sit in my comfortable chair and watch SportsCenter and leave my wife alone, because I can't wait for that because she has such a huge power over me. Because I at all times want that, and she at all times can extract all sorts of money and resources and favors and all kinds of behavior changes from me just in exchange for that. And I don't appreciate her having that level of power over me just because of some grunt animal instinct, right? And so one of these days, the tables are going to turn, and she's going to be like, if you'd like to have any, you can XYZ. And I can be like, well, then you can just XYZ off. and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch the highlights of college basketball, which I haven't been watching in 3 decades because I've been a little concerned with sex. And I think it would be very liberating. Like, I'm kind of looking forward to the day when I don't have my mind occupied.
When your wife dies, you're looking forward to the day when my wife dies.
Not when she dies.
Solid basketball, and hopefully that coincides with my drop in libido.
I look, she doesn't have to die for it to happen, but I think of that episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza swears off sex, and then his life turns around and he makes all these great accomplishments because his brain power isn't so occupied by something so stupid. Because it is stupid. It doesn't do anything for me but get me in trouble or whatever.
This is an interesting topic that we've fallen into because I had never really given it much thought. But so if I have been celibate since before the pandemic, and I'm a single guy, so I mean, I haven't been out to a bar in a social setting in 2 years. I mean, other than a few one-offs, but typically they were just for meetings. I haven't gone out to party, in 2 years. So as a single guy, I can't imagine that I'm all that rare. I mean, having been dry for 2 years, I imagine that there are a lot of people who are similar to me. And it's funny too, because I guess at my age, look, I wouldn't have been able to stomach this at 35. At 35, there'd have been a problem. But I'm totally fine with it, man. I mean, I have never really thought about it until right now when you asked me, and I was like, how long has it been? And I had to try and answer. I guess I don't miss it. I know. Isn't that
weird?
I
was in this weird transition here where I've been married for almost 12 years. And so for the last 11 years, it's been sex, whether I had it today or yesterday. It was never far away. It was always right there, and it slept next to me every night. And even if I got shot down tonight, there was always tomorrow. But for a 2-month period there, my wife moved before I did. I had to stay behind in New Orleans and sell the house. I was dying.
Oh, come on. You can't just take care of yourself like an animal in the zoo. You can't just service yourself. That gets rid of the toxins.
Yeah, well, it does something to get the poison out, that's for sure. But can you tickle yourself? Can you do this and you laugh? But if someone else comes up to you and does this, you'll laugh your head off, right? You can't really tickle yourself. You understand? And so
but you can masturbate. I don't get your point. I don't get your point.
It's not the same, dude. It's not. It's the difference between eating ramen noodles, just whatever you got to do to get by so you don't starve to death, versus eating a steak.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not really wired that way. And maybe it is our age difference, although we don't have that great of an age difference. But
no,
it is. Did I go through menopause? I don't know. I mean, did something happen in me? I mean, because it's funny. I've been asked this by multiple people recently. Well, not recently, but since I've moved on here, it's like, so you're going to get back out there? You're going to be, and I'm like, nah, I don't know, maybe. If it happens, it happens. But it's like, I'm not even like actively, who gets on me the most about it? Because he knew, he knew the girl my son, my 12-year-old son.
Okay.
He's like,
okay.
He knew the girl that I used to, the last one, I guess you would say. And so I think he's worried that I'm lonely. And I'm like, trust me, I'm not lonely. I do this 2 times a day. This is fun. I have people.
This is not a substitute for sex, though.
Well, no, but that's a different category. Companionship and sex is the puzzle pieces that fit together. If you can find a companion who you can also enjoy having sex with, that's kind of that's what you're looking for. I don't need either. As an only child, I don't crave companionship. And at some point in the last few years, I became very sexually blasé. Just like, whatever. Whatever.
This has to be a low testosterone thing. Joe Rogan talks about this a bunch. Joe Rogan says once you get past a certain age and you feel the drop off, it is imperative that you go get testosterone therapy.
This is what Schwartz keeps telling me. Dr. Schwartz. He's like, you gotta get some testosterone. Why? I feel fine. Why?
Okay,
It's not a problem. It is not a problem. It is only a problem for you people. It's not a problem for me.
Well, look, it's not just all about sex, though. It's part about. I don't want to say it's about being a man, but another good friend of mine who's only maybe 6-7 years older than me. He went through his mid-40s and he like felt the day, he says, that it dropped off. And he went out, and when he started testosterone therapy, not only did his, sex drive come back, but his ambition, his work ethic, he was, more aggressive, in the boardroom. He was more aggressive with his getting clients, and his business did better. His business actually went into a lull, and he was okay with it. Like, he was okay with less action, and he was okay with a less exciting life and less confrontation and less ambition and not trying to take over the world, just trying to chill on the couch and have a good time and watch
So what's wrong with that? What's wrong with being okay with being satisfied with who you are and where you're at? I don't need testosterone artificially jacking me up into some toxic asshole.
No, but you do need a job, Pugs.
Well, yeah, I do. But that's well, I mean, there are aspects. I don't know
that was the point. It wasn't about sex on its own. It was part of what made you a successful person to begin with. The Pugs that rose to the top of the industry. You had a midday show in Market 5 for 10 years where you scored huge ratings.
I was in Market 3 first. Thanks.
I'm not trying to be reductive of your career in market number 3, but you had more success in Dallas than you had in Chicago, and that was the Pugs that couldn't tolerate a year or two of no sex. And what if that Pugs came back? Would you have a similar upswing in your career life as well, not just your sex life?
Maybe.
See, and
look, I'm not completely. I'm not against the idea of.
That's what Rogan says. That's what my friend Dwayne says. And
I don't listen to Joe Rogan. Okay, I think Joe Rogan is funny and he's interesting, but I don't take life advice from him.
Well, look, you should take advice from Joe Rogan
a guy who injects growth hormone into his veins for the last 30 years is not somebody who I'm going to take health advice from. And I love Joe. I think Joe's very funny and very interesting, but my God, can we take him off Mount Rushmore? He's an entertainer. So come on.
He's not wrong about the testosterone. He does know about health and supplements and fitness and hormones and fighting and
all that stuff. Yeah, he knows about being, an aggressive, over the top guy. I don't know, man. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate, both you and Schwartz suggest. I mean, you're both people who I respect and who I regard as smart individuals. But I don't. I'm good. This may be an attrition thing. You may over time work me down, and maybe I'll go see a doctor and get the shot. Hell, maybe I'll just pick up the phone and call Schwartz and say, "All right, I'm going to come over. You're going to give me a shot." And he'll.
Look, I think Schwartz is actually a good model for something you should attempt. And if you don't like it, you can tell me to F off. I tried it. Shut up, Parker. But grow a beard, lift weights, do testosterone, and get jacked.
Dude, have you seen Schwartz?
You were telling me about that, and that's I know that's exactly what I was describing.
He's got a mountain man beard.
I know, you told me.
This is an Ivy League educated surgeon, and he's walking around looking like an MMA fighter now. And it's like, what? And he's 60.
Okay, but look, I got the beard. Look, you never knew me with facial hair before. I grew a beard, and I'm not saying I'm jacked, but for the common 44-year-old, I'm jacked. For the average guy on the street, I lift heavy-ass weights, and I go jogging, and I keep myself up, and it's actually fan-freaking-tastic. It fills a hole. It fills a hole in your soul that you're supposed to be taken care of.
When you realize the story that we did not get to cover because this was the line of questioning that you decided to pursue in the last 15 minutes of our 2 hours together, you're going to kick yourself.
All right, what's the story? We got 14 minutes. Let's make it awesome.
What's the story? Oh, you figured, maybe you don't deserve this story. I'll put it to you this way. This is how I've got it listed. This is how I've got it listed in my little things to talk about. Greatest story ever. That's how I have this listed. Okay. So either are you all in on this, or would you rather judge me for some poor aging decisions that I may or may not be engaging in? What do you want to know? Do you want to hear the greatest story ever?
You're going to tell the story of Jesus? Is that what you're going to tell? Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?
No, this is not the greatest story ever told. This is the greatest story ever. And it comes from, I'm not even kidding, one of the greatest storytellers of our time. And of course, I'm talking about the New York Post. The greatest storyteller of our time is the New York Post.
Okay.
There is more fantastic. Okay. Can I give you the headline and then we'll go into the story?
Shoot, go ahead.
90 Day Fiancé star retires from selling her farts after heart attack scare.
Please, I saw this. Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, you saw this and you didn't open with this? Are you kidding me? This is the greatest.
I did. It was only a month ago that it was revealed that she was making 37 pounds a month selling her farts in jars.
Pounds?
Well, yeah, she's from Australia, or no, she's from
Connecticut. She makes $50,000 a month. What are you talking about?
I saw the report in like the Daily Mail UK or something.
No. First of all, can I tell you, if I can get into this business with a lady of this stature, I will take all the testosterone you can find, my friend, because this is the next Mrs. Pugs. This woman, I adore this woman. I read this crazy story. I had initial ideas like, what a pig horse. And then I read the story and I read up a little bit more about her. And I love her. I think she sounds like the most fun, most clever, most creative chick going. And she is a stone cold knockout. So, all right, here's the story. She had a fart attack. That's how it starts. New York Post. I just fucking love the
Well played, New York Post. God dang it. Hey, the New York Post had the best headline ever when David Carradine died. Remember how he killed himself? Autoerotic asphyxiation. And the headline said, Hung Fu.
That's good. You know, speaking of David Carradine, a friend of mine from Chicago tweeted today. There was a headline that said, "Family reveals how Betty White died," and he retweeted, "She went out Carradine style."
Nice.
I thought brilliant.
Hey. And I looked it up. This is the same lady in the LAD Bible. It says the woman who made 37,000 pounds a week selling farts hospitalized for trying to fart too much.
What name do you have?
Stephanie Motto.
Stephanie Motto, a reality TV star who launched a gassy venture peddling her fancy flatulence to strangers. Stephanie Motto, 31, blew away people on social media when she recently announced that she makes more than and she made more than $50,000 a week selling her farts. Okay. The Connecticut resident. Okay. Are we going to get distracted by that? Or are we going to argue about where she's from?
No, dude, this is like an ongoing theme whenever I'm hosting the James Show. It's how, look, it's not a spectrum. It's not, gender fluidity. Men and women are different. There is not one woman on planet Earth that is buying a fart in a jar from a man. All the fart commerce is going one way, and there's only one gender that's stupid enough to buy it, and that's us.
You're absolutely right. That, sir, kudos to you. You have made, that is a Nobel laureate worthy point you've just made. That is absolutely beautiful. However, your story, where does it say she's from? New York Post is reporting Stephanie Motto, 31.
Yeah, Connecticut. I'm just, when I did selling farts in a jar and did a search and then switched over to news,
You just got a report out of Australia, which converted the dollar amount to Australian pounds or whatever the hell.
No. Australia has the Australian dollar. I have some English, some British source that converted it to pounds, and it was 37,000 pounds. And that's just what I remembered from when I did this about a month ago, when she revealed that she was selling farts because.
She is adorable. She is adorable, and she makes 50 grand a week. Is it a week or a month? A week. 50 grand a week selling her farts to dudes. And I can't get more than 50 listeners. This girl, you're right. That's unfair. That is totally unfair that guys like you and me, you've got children to feed. Why can't you sell your farts? Why won't people buy your flatulence in a mason jar? Totally unfair.
Well, because I'm not beautiful and girls aren't nearly as stupid and horny as guys are.
But right there, stop. I've got to ask you, how does a fart in a jar translate or equate to horniness? I don't understand that.
Yeah, you don't understand that, but there are dudes that are into that, just like there are dudes that are into feet, right? And it's tough for these guys because how do you get a girlfriend? How do you convince normal people? And so when you finally do find a bombshell that is actively servicing the one little weirdo kink that everyone's made fun of you for your entire life for.
A little niche fetish that you have.
Right. And so when you finally find someone that's going to satiate this thirst that you've been having like a little stupid Dracula, but for farts since day one, you will spend anything.
So here's my question. Is this a real thing? Like, I'm trying to think like could I fart into something right now, seal it up, and then tomorrow we come back here, and if I opened it up, would it still smell like the fart in there? Like, are these guys getting anything? You know what I mean? Or does she have an artificial spray that she sprays in there?
It's minimal. Look, when I
played, dissipate, right?
Dude, when I played soccer in college, Jason Mayfield was on our team, and when we'd be on bus rides, the common courtesy was, you're not supposed to fart on the bus. You're not supposed to go into the back and take a dump on the bus. And when we're on the soccer bus going to stupid colleges all over the place. So Jason Mayfield would fart in a jar. Like that really captured it all. And then he had a mason jar.
No way that works.
No, there's no way that works. But he got Taylor to sniff it when we got to San Antonio one time. And Taylor's like, oh no, I can totally smell it. It was so dumb. I just didn't even want to participate. Like,
well, I'm looking at it. I could force one out if I needed to right now. And I see some Tupperware, and I'm wondering if maybe I don't try it.
There's no demand. There's no demand for it.
No, but this is a science experiment to see if when I open up the Tupperware tomorrow, will it still smell like fart? And will the fart that I produce actually smell? Because sometimes they're silent but dead. Oh, is there a discount for silent but deadly?
Well, you don't know until it's too late.
It's true. You really don't. So you package them separately.
No, you can't know until it's too late.
Well, no, the consumer can't know, but the producer can. She can.
If you leave the lid off, doesn't it dissipate too fast?
Well, don't you? Okay, so let's work through. Let's see how this works. Okay, so she's got to have an assistant. I believe that somebody's got to be back there catching it.
No,
catching the flatulence.
No, you don't. Jason Mayfield did it without the aid of an assistant.
Really? Did it himself?
Why? And I'm just airing him out first and last name.
Jason was not as successful, and he wasn't producing at the level. He wasn't scaled to the level of this girl, who she's making 50 grand a month. I mean,
Jason was a soccer player from Mount Pleasant who was married to a Hispanic woman. His farts were substantial.
Well, please let me share this story with the listeners. I love this story. I mean, this is poor girl had a heart attack trying to force farts. And
no, it was her diet, wasn't it? She was eating a bunch of eggs and beans, right?
I'm trying to set up a story here. And yes, it was her diet.
I didn't mean to ruin the fart in a jar story.
She had a fart attack. A reality TV star who launched a gassy venture peddling her fancy flatulence to strangers, Stephanie Motto, 31, blew away people on social media when she You give out, right?
There's been about 8 puns you already stepped on.
I know. So I'm gonna be on them. The Connecticut resident had gained international recognition after appearing on the reality show 90 Day Fiancé, and later started her own YouTube channel, wrote books, and founded an X-rated subscription site called Unfiltered. Okay. She then really made waves with her olfactory business by capturing her emissions in a jar and selling them because she, quote, thought it'd be a hilarious publicity move that would get a lot of people's attention. I mean, I love her. I mean, it's not like she's doing it because she's into it. She's doing it because she understands that you got to sell the brand. You got to sell the brand. You got to brand the brand, and you got to become known for something. And once you become known for something, then you can write your own story after that, because we love reinvention in this country. So after she makes her first 50 grand a week for 52 weeks being the fart in a jar lady, she can reinvent, and she's already on a higher platform than she was. She gets it, is my point. This woman gets it. If you're her boyfriend, you got a problem with this? She's pulling down 50 grand.
No, I don't.
Dude, I'm loving it.
For one thing, I'm a capitalist pig, so I find this all to be complete genius. That if you can find a market for your something we're just giving away for free every day.
There is nothing wrong with this. There is nothing wrong with this.
No, there's something wrong with the dudes buying it, but that's not her problem.
100%.
Not her problem. Score off of there's weirdo idiots in the world, and if you can find a way to make money off of them, I'm jealous. No one's buying my farts.
They're called marks, and they've been around forever, and she has identified her marks, and she is making 50 grand a week farting into jars and then selling them to these idiots, which is awesome.
Here we are working for a living.
But after making 200 grand in sales in the first month, the influencer has announced her retirement when she passed one too many and got the wind knocked out of her.
Oh my God. This is puntastic, like Sex in the City level puns.
You know, this is like season 5 of any great sitcom. She's just trying too hard. At some point, it's not coming naturally anymore. And, you know, the brilliance is no longer something that is just happening because
you have to push it. Yeah.
You have to push it. You're trying too hard. And then, you know, it all goes season 6 of any sitcom, season 5 of any drama series. This is always, you know, it's the drop-off part. What do they say? 5 seasons of the movie? You get out. You get out when it becomes obvious that you're going to push.
Or you have to rotate the cast like Cheers did. Let's get rid of Diane, bring in Rebecca, get rid of Coach, bring in Woody. Yeah, you.
Let's give him a baby. Let's introduce a baby out of nowhere. And now for season 7, they got a baby.
Bringing Oliver to the Brady Bunch.
Right, yeah. Exactly. After undergoing a battery of tests, including blood work and an EKG. Oh, no. Okay. I'm sorry. She got the wind knocked out of her because she was trying to push out too many farts. Maddow was rushed to a hospital with chest pains she feared were symptoms of a heart attack. After undergoing a battery of tests, including blood work and an EKG, Maddow was told that her pain was the result of steady diet of gas-inducing beans and eggs.
Yeah, can I recommend some like Mickey's malt liquor? That's fantastic for me. If you can find a Poncho's buffet, you go hit that and hit the Chili Rellenos hard.
We got to pull this up. You got to see these. Come on. It's so unfair for the good folks out there in viewer land to not be able to see this girl.
Yeah. After this, yeah. Let's do this and then get the hell out of here.
There you go. All right. First of all, there she is. She
is beautiful. She is beautiful.
I mean, I don't want her farts in a jar, but
no,
yes,
God.
She is gorgeous. Look at how cute she is, and that's a little jar of her farts. Jesus, I wonder what her jar overhead is. Like, what is the breakdown? What is the cost breakdown?
Bruh, do you know where mason jars are made? I think the Ball Mason Jar Company. It's in Texas.
Is it?
Yeah. Like ball mason jars are down by Houston, like Conroe or something. Where is that? Here, let me Google it real quick.
Wait, look at her. This is her in the hospital. We're in the middle.
Oh no! That's less attractive there.
That's still very sexy. We're in the middle of a pandemic. ERs are being strained to their very core, and this girl is taking up a room because she farted in one too many jars.
Stop.
America! It's great.
All right.
This is so awesome. It's the greatest story ever told. I thought I was having a stroke and that these were my final moments, Maddow told Jay. Imagine that. You're up at the pearly gates, you're waiting in line, you're talking to, I don't know, she's talking to Betty White, she's talking to John Madden, she's talking to all the new arrivals,
The new arrivals, right.
In the celebrity wing, because I believe there was probably a celebrity line where and she was on 90 Day Fiance, so she would make the cut. She would be influencer and all that. So she would be in the celebrity line. So it would be like her and John Madden and Betty White, and I'm trying to think of who else. Dan Reeves, the other football coach who died this weekend. That's about it. So it'll be her, and she's like explaining. I love let's picture her explaining to Betty White how she died.
Oh, wow.
Sweetie, you're so young and so beautiful.
Yeah.
How did you pass away? Well, I was farting in jars. Just,
Too many jar farts. Yeah.
Too many jar farts.
This is dumb as hell.
I thought I was having a stroke and that these were my final moments, Maddow told Jam Press. I was overdoing it. The self-proclaimed fartrepreneur. Yeah, see,
that's forced. That pun was forced.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, James? Mm-hmm. Wait, that's not good. You don't get credit for that. The self-proclaimed fartrepreneur. How about, what would be better than fartrepreneur?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I
don't think there's a good alternative for that one.
No, there's a great one. There is a great one, James. We just can't think of it right now. The self-proclaimed fartrepreneur had squeezed out up to 50 jars worth of farts a week. Okay, 50 jars a week. So what's 7 times 7? 49. So it's like 7 farts a day.
Look, the average human being puts out about a birthday balloon. Those balloons that you got for your birthday?
Yeah.
About that much farts per day is the average person.
Well, I'm not the average person. Isn't she so cute with her little 7 farts a day? I have done 7 farts while talking about this story. This is oh my God, if women were just into my farts, you know how much money I could make? Because I could produce farts. Look at her there. Look at her.
Sky's the limit, huh?
I love her.
I like that dress too, man.
Oh God, everything about her is perfect. And yes, her decision to bottle her farts and sell them and make 50 grand a week is one of those decisions that I think is brilliant. We'll keep it there. We'll let y'all look at her while I continue reading the story. It's almost done. We're almost out of here. Don't you worry about it. I could tell that something was not right that evening, she says, when I was laying in bed and I can feel a pressure in my stomach moving upward. It was quite hard to breathe. And every time I tried to breathe in, I'd feel a pinching sensation around my heart. And that, of course, made my anxiety escalate. I actually called my friend and asked if they could come over and drive me to the hospital because I thought I was experiencing a heart attack. Now, she's an online influencer, so, she's going to the hospital no matter what because her entire life is about producing or manufacturing in some way, shape, or form drama. Right? I mean, her tweeting out, you guys, I'm on my way to the hospital, gets 10,000 retweets. And you know what I mean? I mean, that's the whole influencer game. So,
you know what her favorite Janis Joplin song is? Piece of My Fart.
Boom!
You know what her favorite? You know what her favorite Beatles song is? Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Farts Club Band.
Oh!
You know what her favorite? You know what her favorite Pat Benatar song is? Fart Breaker.
Oh!
Her favorite Bonnie Tyler song. You might get this one because she only had like one popular song. Total Eclipse of the Fart.
Oh!
Her favorite song by Yes. Owner of a Lonely Fart.
Oh, and that, folks, that's pretty much about all we need to do on this. That is wonderful. Oh, she is so cute. There are
She likes that D-Light song, Groove is in the Fart.
They just keep coming. They just keep coming. In her spare time, she participates in farts and crafts.
She likes that Blondie song, Fart of Glass. I don't like Neil Young, but she likes Fart of Gold.
All right.
I like that Roxette cover, Listen to Your Fart.
What, did you like Google search songs with heart in it? Is that what you're doing?
No, why would you think that? You think I'm just doing this for like the lame Whitney Houston pun, where do lonely farts go? Celine Dion's My Fart Will Go On.
See, and I keep thinking of things other than heart. Like I'm going with cart. I'm trying to think there's right thing with cart. There's art. There's mart.
Yeah, well, there's also Motley Crue's Kickstart My Fart.
Favorite store is K-Fart. Of course, that's when she was a little girl. These days, it's wall fart.
Ooh, well played, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. We're done. There's a whole bunch more here. She says, I think certain foods produce better smelling farts. Oh, do you? Do you? Did you? Really? You darling little pixie sprite.
Well, Pugs, we had this argument not too long ago. Who would you choose? Which one's better, Paul Simon or Fart Garfunkel? All right, this is stupid. We got to go to bed. Oh, man. I like that Nirvana song, though, Fart Shaped Box. That's a good one, too. Stop. Are we done now?
I don't want to be. But I can't think of anything. I don't want to do heart because that's your thing. And I
know, but like Tony Braxton had Unbreak My Fart. That was a good one. Stupid.
Never mind.
Yeah, let's just go, man. Let's just go. We killed it at the end. We just crashed this ship. We ran it aground.
I have a lot of people praising me, she says, calling me a girl boss, telling me that I inspire them to be unashamed of who they are and what they do. Wait a second. Hold on. Let me work that quote down again. Hold on. Quote, I have a lot of people praising me, calling me a girl boss, telling me that I inspire them to be unashamed of who they are and what they do. Yeah. She's talking about the people who buy her jarred farts, right? Those are the people who are inspired by her to not be, right? I mean, who is saying...
All right, Pugs, can you get this one? What's your favorite Billy Ray Cyrus song?
Oh, that would be Achy Breaky Fart.
Yes!
But on the other end... Oh, the other end, she says. But on the other end, I have been getting a ton of negativity. I have even received death threats.
No one wants to kill her.
Nobody wants to kill her. People telling me that I should end my life and so on, she added. Well, no, not until she's at least 40. I try my best to not react to these people and give them what they want, which is attention, Maddow told the outlet. In this day and age, we need to stop tearing people down for their choices. Oh, now she's getting preachy.
Mm-hmm. It's all about tolerance, Bugs.
Oh, God, I love this story. Even though I got backlash. Deserving. It's deserving.
Okay, yeah.
Even though I got backlash, I think it has opened a new door for me. I'm working on a digital fart jar artwork at the moment.
She's getting a non-fungible token. Is that what she's doing? A fart token?
Yes. Hey, do you think that her business is affected by the rising gas prices?
Ooh, well played, sir.
Not too bad. All right, folks. That's it. We're listening to John Hinckley, so that means that we're done. James, thank you so much. If you want to come back tomorrow, you're always welcome. But I know you've got a busy life to lead, so we won't hold you to anything.
Still have to unpack a bunch of crap. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll reach out to you tomorrow evening. If you're free, you're free. If not, you're not. Although this was fun. Thank you.
It's good to be back. Thanks for having me.
By the way, everybody, right now, look at your clock. It's 11:11. Make a wish. That's my gift to you. Me giving you this opportunity. Me giving you this opportunity to make a wish. Hurry up now. It's 11:11. And your wish has to be done before it turns to 11:12. I made it. All right, James, be well, my friend. There he goes. That's James Parker. Everybody, join us tomorrow for the High Noon Show. That's, at noon Central Time. More of a topic-driven show. This is stupid. This is Pillow Talk. We do this at 9 o'clock. It's dumb. I mean, we just spent 20 minutes talking about farts. Appreciate y'all. Support the show if you can. Anyway, we do tips. We do, apparently we're doing Bitcoin now. So if you want to, you can just go to Cash App. You can donate Bitcoin there on Cash App. Should check on my, you know what? That's a noontime thing. Look at us. We got like how many? What is going on with all of these Russian trolls that have infiltrated the chat room? I don't know what this is about. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.